Hey guys, today we're going to go through all the mobility and self-care tools I use as a runner at home to look after my body. Before we get into it, I must say, you don't need any of these things. The best thing for you is end range, mobility and strength training. That is the perfect complement to your running routine. The other thing to say is I've accumulated these things over time. You definitely don't need to go out and buy all of them at once, but I'll go through each of the things that help me and I'll go through the best use cases of each thing so that you understand how they fit into my week. First thing, I'm actually sitting on it. It's this meditation cushion. It's about a 10 centimeter tall meditation cushion, and I use this just to sit on the floor watching telly, and sometimes I'll be stretching and wriggling and getting into my hips and squeezing open my hips, and I'll also use it as a thick cushion if I need a good knee pad for some of the other mobility exercises I do. Then we move on to a Voodoo Band. Now I learned about Voodoo Band flossing from Kelly Starrett when I was into CrossFit 12 years ago or so, and Kelly Starrett's gone a little bit out of fashion, but some of the things he taught me back then have really stuck with me. I use this Voodoo Band for one thing only, and that's for getting into my deep hip rotators. What you do with the Voodoo Band is you tie it around your body as tight as you can, and then you move around, and in the case of the hip you squat and do a little lunge. It takes about 90 seconds before it feels like your leg is going to fall off, so you quickly take the band off. Then you'll find you suddenly have loads more hip mobility. Now what we know is that won't last very long, so it creates a window of opportunity where I then go and do end range strength training and move to end range under load, and the combination of the Voodoo Band plus the end range movement really helps loosen me up. In a similar vein, we have the tried and tested foam roller. We all love it and hate it. What I like to do with a foam roller is I find the tender points in my muscles, and then I'll move the joint that muscle is associated with. So if it's a calf muscle, I'll then start pumping my ankle. If it's a quad or an ITB, I'll bend the knee back and forth. The combination of pressure and a little bit of discomfort, then with moving the joint and the muscle, seems to work really well for me. My rule with foam rollers is that I shouldn't be gritting my teeth and tensing my shoulders with pain. So yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but no, it shouldn't be causing so much pain you're tensing up, and that's why I don't have one of the foam rollers with the big bobbly bits, because I just think that's too much and doesn't really serve a good purpose. This is also something I will couple with movement straight after. Then we move on to a massage gun. This massage gun is the Bob and Brad Air 2 Mini. Bob and Brad actually sent me this. I've been a fan of the Bob and Brad YouTube channel for years. They actually really inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. So when I saw they were making products, I was actually very interested. This being the Air 2 Mini, it's tiny and it's much smaller than my other massage gun. So I'm going to be taking this to my races, just chuck it in a bag, and this will be the perfect thing to freshen my legs up after a long journey to my races. Now, massage guns, we know they do work, but not for very long, just like the Voodoo Band, just like the foam roller. So this is something else that if you're thinking this will solve all your problems just by sitting on the sofa and massaging yourself, won't work. But if you use this to free yourself up, suddenly feel a bit lighter and looser, and then go and do some good mobility and strength training, then that's a great combination that has a longer lasting effect. The three use cases that I use a massage gun for are if I'm trying to stretch and mobilize, but the muscle is just not giving in, I'll quickly blast it with this. The other time I'll use it is if I'm feeling beaten up from the day before, but I need to train again. So I'm just about to go for a run, or just about to do some strength, but I'm feeling so battered from the day before, quickly blast myself. Then I alluded to the third, which is before races, after a long journey in particular. This massage gun, it is great and small and ergonomic, fits in the hand really well. I like the use of having your hand over the pressure rather than having the handle. It's got 3 settings. I will literally never use the lowest setting. That is too low, I think, but levels 2 and levels 3 are pretty good. Level 3 in particular is as powerful as my bigger, double the price massage gun. So level 3 definitely creates the response I need. I like to use the soft pad on any bony bits. I'll use the harder pad on bigger muscles where there's more movement in the muscles, so like the quads and the glutes and the calf. And then I use what I call the bullet to hook behind bones. So this is particularly important for runners with muscles like the tibialis posterior and the soleus just behind the tibia. So I'll run down that channel with what I call the bullet. Then we have slant wedges. Now I actually have a wooden slant board, which was twice the price of these things, and I never use it because these wedges are just much more maneuverable. They meet the floor as opposed to the wooden board having a big lip to the floor. They come as a 3, and the 2 small ones equal the 1 bigger one. So I'll use these for things like squat with my heels very raised. That's particularly good, by the way, for strengthening the lower quads, which is great to give knee protection for downhill running. I'll use these for the Poliquin step, also a great exercise for protecting the knees on the downhills. This will help me in the knees over toes split squat, and sometimes I face into these wedges and do RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, to help strengthen and lengthen my posterior chain. And last up, we've got Photobiomodulation, which is red light therapy. This comes with 2 switches, which has a red light lamp and a near infrared light lamp. There are 2 different frequencies of light that go through your body and interact with your cells and make your cells more efficient. So if a cell is trying to heal, it will accelerate healing. This is a technology that's decades old, so it has a ton of research behind it. I actually found out about this when I injured a disc in my back. I had some tears to the outer fiber of a disc and a little bulge. So I quickly went onto PubMed, looked for research about how to heal discs faster, and this came up. Good thing about the red light, but particularly the near infrared light, is that it goes a few inches into your body, so that's why it can meet the discs and help the disc accelerate its healing. Although that disc took a few weeks, maybe a few months to get over, since then I have used this on every single little niggle at the first sign of pain. So as soon as I get a little foot niggle or a knee niggle, this goes on. What I do is I hold it about 4 inches away from the body and then use it for 20 minutes at a time over the niggle. I actually bought the smallest, cheapest box just to test it out. I'm so glad I did, because it's very maneuverable. You can hold it around certain joints and move it around. I can hold it over a shoulder, I can rest it on the side of the sofa to put over my neck and shoulder, or I can hold it over a knee and put my feet up to it. So I'm glad I got the small one and had to have the maneuverability of it. Now, as I said at the beginning, you don't need any of these things. This was my most expensive item. This was £200. The massage gun, that was £89. Like I say, that's actually half the price of my other massage gun. Everything else was about £20 or less. Accumulated them over time. You definitely don't need all this stuff in your armory straight away, but they have been very handy for me for various situations, and they do accelerate recovery, help me get over injury faster, and I would say they help me prevent injury because of the way I can use them for mobility and strength as well. So I hope that's been helpful and has given you some ideas about how to look after your body, and until next time, happy training.